welcome to the Matching Mom Jeans podcast. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Shelby.
And you're a green screen because it's fine. Nobody can see us anyways, so it's just me.
Technical difficulties. Yeah,
It's
you're
just me
gonna
that's
have to picture
impacted.
me in your head. I wonder if and when anyone ever listens to the podcast, what they think we look like.
Ooh. I hope. Well, I don't know who I hope they think I look like.
I hope they don't think we're old.
Well, that is perfect because I calculated it and we are 359 months old.
What?
Do you count your kids' age in months?
Oh, okay. See, here's the thing. I never wanted to be that mom. Like, never. But I feel like if I just say she's a year old, but she's not a year and a half old, that, like, she's 14 months old because it was just the end of the month last week, and her birthday is the last of the month, and so that makes her 14 months old. And I feel like that's a big accomplishment. That's
Yeah,
2
it is.
whole months past a year.
See,
And so if I just say she's a year old, it's not
you're
right.
shortchanging her. Yeah, you're shortchanging her a little bit. My thing is, so I met a lady last night, which is why this is on my mind. She referred to her child as 31 months old, which I don't do well with math. So it took me a little while to figure out that that's like a 2.5-year-old plus like 1 month.
That's like almost a 3-year-old.
Yeah, well, it's 2.5-year-old. Like 30 months is 2.5. So I did some research. So you ready for this?
Oh.
The CDC counts milestones at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, which is 12 months, 15 months, 18 months, and then 2 years. And the only other month that they count is the 2.5 year, the 30 month. And then after that, it's just years 3, 4, 5, and 6. What's weird about that is that if you look at the well child schedule, when like your child is assessed by the pediatrician, it's almost identical except for like your kid goes for the first week of their life and then they go for the first month. But that's it. They line up completely after that. And so even though it's kind of, it's one of those like ridiculous things when people are like, my child is 52 months old. I think up to 2 years, I think it makes a lot of sense because a 15-month-old is a completely different kid than a 12-month-old. And an 18-month-old,
Totally.
like, so my son is going to be 2 in, let's see, it's the 1st of March. So, and he's a May baby. So what, like 2 months?
Yeah.
A little over 2 months?
2.5 months.
So he's, the last time he had a well child was 18 months, which was back in November, I think. So there's been a lot of things happen since then. Like,
yeah, he's grown and changed a lot.
Yeah, like, well, he hasn't physically grown because he's a tiny shrimp, but he has indeed grown
His
in
hair
his
has
brain.
grown.
His hair has grown, which is good because I was getting worried for a little while. So I get that like a little bit where it's like, a 22-month-old, but at the same time, like, I think context matters, if that makes sense. Like, so when I'm talking to another mom who has maybe like a 15-month-old, she technically has a 1-year-old just like I do, but I have a 22-month-old. There's 7 months difference.
And it's vastly different. Vastly different.
Yeah, like you and I technically both have 1-year-olds because I have a 22-month-old
Which is
and you have a
wild.
14-month-old.
But they're 7 months apart.
Yes, and when you put them next to each other, well, physically they're the same height because your child is super tall because your husband's super tall. But
the power of dad genes.
When you my husband's so short. um, but
Matching mom jeans, definitely not matching dad jeans in our family.
100%. Yes, you can just line the children up and be like, which one? It doesn't help that your husband is white and mine is Hispanic because
Yeah,
then my
that
children
also
just
plays a
troop in
factor.
and they're little tiny brown children, and then here's your beautiful little white baby who's bigger than, well, she's not bigger. She's like exactly the same size as my
Yeah, I
son,
think we decided that your son is about half an inch taller
which
and
could
7
be the
months
shoes.
older, but they weigh the same.
And they're wearing the
And
same size
she wears
diapers.
bigger clothes.
Yeah, she wears bigger clothes, but they're wearing the same diapers, which I feel like is the appropriate way to measure a child
Oh,
because clothes
yeah.
are very different by brand, but diapers are pretty the same. But he's been in a
I
size
don't
4
know.
diaper since last April.
Yeah, everybody told me size 3 was the diapers we would stay in the longest, but size 4 are definitely the diapers that I think we're going to be in the longest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're rocking it. I really kind of want to make it to April, which I think we will at the rate that he's not growing. But I kind of want to be like a whole year in size 4 so I can just be like, this happened. Give
I
me a
think it's
Guinness
totally
World
possible.
Record, please.
But I like that. Like, that's really encouraging that, like, it just lines up with the well child visits, which makes sense because when we go to the pediatrician for our well child visits, we have to fill out a questionnaire like 3 days before online
Yeah.
of all the like skills and tasks. And some of the things are things that you wouldn't even think to do. It's like
Yeah.
if you hand your child a block and a blade of grass, and do they do this or do they do that? Or do they that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I guess I'll go get a block and a blade of grass
Yeah.
because I've never been in this situation.
I like that yours are a couple days ahead. Ours are not, but because I work in this field, like I test milestones pretty frequently just because I'm bored. Um and and it's kind of fun. But well, and my stepson was a little behind on some of his, so like we're a
Because
little.
you were an overachieving student in school.
Yes, exactly. So I just want to
These are your
know
report cards.
I just want to know how my report card is coming along because it's my job to make sure my child is, doing things while I'm getting my
But
business off the
it
ground. So
it
it just makes
also
me feel
wouldn't
good.
be your fault if your child was not reaching your milestones for some reason.
No,
Children
see,
don't
so
meet
that's what I
milestones
was
for
going to
lots of
say.
reasons.
See, that's what I was going to say is I find it so fascinating that some doctors like send out these milestone checklists like yours and like are a couple days in advance so you can kind of see what your child is doing. And I think that's a good idea because then you could raise red flags as you need to. But like I feel like sometimes being put on the spot in the doctor's office could feel a little shamey. Like, I know
Oh,
for a fact
totally.
that I've worked with parents before who openly say that they, like, lie on those questionnaires, and I totally get that. Like, from a worker perspective and a professional perspective, that's bad because we don't get to have the early intervention that we would like to with children. But from a parent perspective, 100%. Like, if a doctor's
Oh,
sitting
but
there asking you if your child eats vegetables, you are always gonna say yes. 100%.
you're
Even
like,
if your child only eats
pizza
carrots.
sauce is a vegetable, you
Yes,
know?
it is. 100%. It
Um,
even has herbs in it. Your child likes herbs. Congratulations.
right. Yeah, but the way that like it's approached with our pediatrician is something that I just truly love because not only do they like set you up for success, like the beginning of the questionnaire comes in a few days early before the appointment. And then it at the beginning will remind you to only do these to sit down with your child and any other members of the family over the next few days and try to answer these questions by asking your child, basically like setting your child up to do some of the things. And then it will
Weird.
remind you that your child should be well fed and well rested and in a distraction free area during playtime
Oh,
while you try to do
nice.
these. And so it's like, don't try
See?
to, hand them the block and the blade of grass in the grocery store. Do it like after you guys are having fun playing. And the responses to the questions really matter to me too, because the responses are yes, sometimes, and not yet.
Oh, see,
So
so
it's
it's not just a
not
no.
yes and no. Yeah. It's so, like, and there's always things on there that, like, my daughter is not able to do yet. And then there are things on there that I'm like, well, yeah, but I marked that on the last questionnaire too. And we never see the results. And they hardly ever talk to us about them, which I assume is because she is developing somewhat, on
Yeah, it
par.
would only be if there's red flags. Otherwise, they just try to like leave you alone.
Yeah, but our doctor always mentions like, "Oh, I saw the results of your questionnaire. Aren't those things so fun?" Or did you see the silly question about XYZ? Like, that
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
like
Because some of the questions are really funny.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, because
But
sometimes our pediatrician likes to see little things, and so she'll be like, "Can he stand on one foot?" And I'm like, "I don't know, let's see." And we'll just like
let's find
one of his
out
feet.
together.
But again, like you're right, that's a really distracting environment. And like even though he really enjoys being at the doctor's because they have stickers on the wall, which is fascinating to him. Um, and they're suckers in a giant jar where every child can see them, which is both a good idea and a bad idea. But like you said, it's if they were home, if they're well rested, well fed, having a good day, if the person that they, if I bring them to the pediatrician, well, dad's not there. So, sometimes my son likes to do things where he's like, I have to show dad this right now. And you're like, well,
Right.
I'm seeing it and I'm clapping. And he's like, no, daddy, right now.
Well,
And I'm
and
like,
for
excellent.
children with m- more shy, I don't really like to call her shy, but my daughter is a little slower to open up to people. And so
She,
by the time
uh,
we get to the doctor, she has met so many new people or people she hasn't seen in months that she's like, don't really care about you. Please hide me in your purse, mother. Let's get out of here.
we're
Like,
done.
yeah. Like the first nurse can usually get a smile out of her by the time they're done answering questions and,
Oh, see,
like weighing her.
nurses, he will fight a nurse. Don't you put him on that scale. Don't you try to measure how tall he is. He is done.
That's so funny.
But he likes the doctor because all she does is like applaud.
See, my daughter, she uses like all of her people capital. Every bit of attention that she has, she uses it on the first person. And so then
Yeah.
then they come in and, you know, it's the actual doctor and she's like, "I'm not interested in you." And then they come in afterwards for shots or follow up
Oh,
or whatever. And at
yeah.
that point, as soon as the door opens, she just like looks at him like, "You better get out of my way, make it quick. We're getting out of here. Like,
We are
we're
done.
donezo."
Oh, poor thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider her shy. Maybe just cautious. I think she's got a
Cautious
good
is a good word for it.
Yeah, because mine is not cautious. Well, okay. So I would consider both of my older two children to be more cautious, but my youngest, um, well, today we were at the grocery store and all of the little old people who are at the grocery store, on a Wednesday at 10 a.m., just love him and they smile and they clap and he's pushing the cart like he's in a parade float. Because now he's old enough to like shove the cart so I can like walk at the front and like guide it so he doesn't hit things. Um,
Love it.
and I think he would have stayed there all day. Like he definitely has his proximity radar where he's like, there's a person between me and mom. I'm not okay with that. And he'll like run around the person and come back to me. Or if he like can't
Right.
see me, but like he loves a good applause. He'll do anything for applause. And
That's
sometimes I'm like,
amazing.
let's not jump in with both feet with strangers. Like, let's work on that. So,
Right.
but I did
Like,
think it
he
was
could
really
develop
interesting.
a healthy fear, and my daughter could maybe be willing to at least make eye contact every once
Yeah,
in a while.
that's fair. That's
I
really
mean,
fair.
she will. It's just going to take about as long for her to be interested as it takes for the average person to lose interest.
Oh, that's a really, yeah, you're right.
And so
That
then
matches perfectly.
she's like saying hi to their retreating backs.
Nice.
Or we're pushing the grocery cart out of the store
And then
and
she's like,
then she's
hello,
waving at people.
everyone. Yes, exactly. Maybe you grocery
So
shop too quickly.
she just needs time. She needs time. And that's why, like, oftentimes, like, if we go to a birthday party or um, if we're like visiting family or anything, she'll just chill like on one of our hips, or even like usually my husband will take her to meet the family dog at whatever
Yeah,
house we're at.
that's a
And
good
that
idea.
gives her the opportunity to run to kind of warm up. It also gives him something to do because they're the same personality
I
when
was
it
about
comes
to
to
say,
meeting new
he
people.
hates talking to other people. So
He doesn't hate talking to people. It's just by
that's
the
fair.
time he is warmed
Warms
up
up.
and they are not.
Exactly. No, he's good. But he does kind of observe. But he can do that because he's like tall and kind of stoic, and like that really works for him. Whereas like she's a little bebopping baby. So people expect more out of her.
Right. People like expect her to have a different level of openness than they do like other adults, which is
Yeah.
wild to me.
It is really wild, and it's a really good way for you to teach her like screw other people's expectations. You can be quiet and stoic as much as you want, tiny child.
And she can. She can. She will warm up when she warms up. And until then, either her or my husband, either I or my husband will be chilling over there in the corner with her.
Got to sing that
Maybe
boundaries.
with a dog that we have decided to lavish love on.
Very valid. In about 4 years, she'll be the cool kid who can play with the dog. And everybody else will be like, whoa, dogs, awesome.
You know, maybe. That'd be so
My
cool.
son only likes chickens. So
Aw.
he will wave at
Chickens
all
are
the
cool too,
dogs in
though.
the neighborhood. We're going to have to practice our appropriate interactions with the chickens because yesterday he drew on them with sidewalk chalk. And I don't
I
really
mean,
know if
that
sidewalk
might be
chalk
an
is
appropriate
safe.
reaction.
I can't believe that she stood there long enough for that. It was
Yeah.
Nug Nug though, so she's not really smart. She's got some issues. And she'll
We
just stand there.
we have had our dog for 8 years. I don't know how many months that is. So I don't know what milestone he's on.
8
But
times
for
12 is how
Yeah,
much
go
is
ahead,
8
do that
times
again.
12?
It's 96.
96? Ah, well
Yes, it's
done.
96.
Go me.
But so he's 96 months old,
Oh, bless.
and it is his responsibility because he has 4 feet.
Oh,
So it
yes,
is
I
his
do remember this.
responsibility to get up and go if the toddler is bothering him. And I would say
The
the
amount of
same for
times
your chicken. It is your
yeah.
chicken's responsibility to walk away if they don't want to be sidewalk chalked. It is your responsibility and your toddler's responsibility to treat the animal with respect. If you are offering a makeover and the chicken just stands there, that's not
You have
necessarily
accepted
disrespectful,
the makeover. I
right?
we did have to have a really serious conversation, and by that I mean he got pecked by a chicken for ripping out a tail feather, and I was like, you know what?
Oh,
I'm just gonna let this happen because you got to learn that there's consequences to pulling out feathers, and the chicken needs to learn to turn around and peck. But ours don't have like really sharp beaks or anything like
I'm
that, so he was
absolutely
not in
not going
danger.
to sing on this podcast, but all I could think was the consequence song sound from
Yes,
TikTok.
or the what is the dumb ways to die one? That's what
Yeah.
the amount of times that pops into my head every single day while he is like balancing on the edge of the bed going, careful, careful, careful. because I said be careful like once one day, and now he says it to himself. And I'm like, great. It sounds like I'm the kind of parent that's like, oh my goodness, be careful to everything. And I'm like, I
You
really
are
try
his
not to
inner
be.
voice.
Yes, I am. But also, he will hit you and say ow, or he will stub his toe and say sorry, sorry, sorry. Because
Oh,
when he gets hurt, I pick him up and I say, "I'm so sorry, honey. Let's sit down. Let's see the boo-boo." And so now like he dropped something on his toe yesterday and it was like a Lego or something. So it did not hurt that bad. But he's sorry toe, sorry toe, sorry.
I mean, that could be a healthy respect for his body. He's trying to treat it
Right?
right.
I wonder where that goes on the milestone checklist. Like how to appropriately respect your body's owies.
How many months did you say we were? Because I have not checked that one off.
We are
I-
359 months old.
okay,
So,
well, it's got to be 360 months at least
sure,
because I am
we have
still
a little
working on
while to
having a
work on
healthy
it.
respect for my body.
Fair. Very fair.
Still
Um,
working on it. If we could teach
no,
our
so
children better than we know ourselves, then we will definitely be good mothers, right?
yeah. I mean, you are a good mother.
So are you.
Yeah. I like it. That's what we should tell
I
everybody. That should be like the new goodbye, sayonara, instead of like ciao or, anything weird like that or see you later. It should just be like, you're a good mom.
Yeah. Like when people hang up the phone and they're like, love you, bye. And
Oh my
instead it's
gosh.
just like, you're good, mom, bye.
To the FedEx person who called me to tell me about my missing package. Hey, did you get my package?
I did. I did get the
Oh,
package you sent
good.
me.
Okay. Well, they told me that it was lost in an email, but it was probably a scam. So I called them and then I was so frustrated that I was like, okay, love you, bye. And
They
then I'd
straight up
take
lied
him.
to you because the man handed it to me yesterday because we were playing in the yard and I felt really weird being out there and he was just like handed me the package.
See, okay, that's not quite as weird as ours, who will walk by you to put it by the front door.
Oh,
He
I guess
takes
there's
it very
two
seriously.
two sides to every coin
The
because I almost would
correct
have preferred
answer
that.
The correct answer is when you see the truck pull up, mailman, FedEx, Amazon, whatever, you run to the backyard like my
Right?
5-year-old does. That is his response. He goes, "There's a package," and runs to the backyard as fast as he can.
I mean, I
We the mail.
straight up had to like I have like a cowering toddler behind me
He's like,
and
"Nope. Get off
yeah,
my
and I'm just
property."
like literally I'm like, it's all right. And he's like, do you want a side for this? And I was like, okay.
Sure,
So
great.
yeah.
So exciting. Well,
But no,
I've
I
got
like
to
that way
go.
to end our episodes. You are a
Yeah,
good mom.
so are you.
And so are you if you're listening to this. Which we're not
Oh,
entirely sure
fun.
anybody is yet.
No, but if they are a good mom.
Not
Or a good dad.
because you listen to this.
Oh, that's fair. Yes,
We're
no.
not
Just
taking that
like
upon ourselves. You
you are a
just are
good
the best
mom
mom for
if
your
you
kid.
listen to us talk on a podcast.
That's false advertising.
False. All right. You're a good mom. Bye.
Bye.